How's it going, everybody? Budding here, and today I want to talk about a very enjoyable tank right now. It is the VK90, and the VK90, I love playing this tank. I play this tank in comp. I play German heavies all the time when I'm on a competitive team, and one of my favorite things to do is just to outplay another VK90 on the enemy team or like any type of tank and just absolutely ruin their day. I played a lot of games of this in pubs, in comp, and in ratings, and I'm going to show you guys some absolutely wonderful ways to get the results you want and have some absolutely great fun playing your VK90. So first off, we're going to be talking about the setup that I use on this tank. It's very simple. Adrenaline, double repair, very simple. Nothing too crazy, and the provisions, more of the same. Just take double chocolate and the fuel. There's a lot of ammunition on this tank. 90 rounds in the VK90. I just take, I guess, 49. I'm going to change that actually. I'm going to take 10, 50, 30. So 50 AP rounds, 30 APCR, and 10 HE rounds. Just to make it very clean. Do whatever you want with the ammo. There's so much choice. Just make sure you take all 3 rounds. You're going to need them for a lot of different things. My equipment, if you're feeling very skilled, take the rammer. I don't feel like you should though, because you're definitely going to need all the pen you can get. The standard rounds are amazing. 297 on AP. That's more than what some tank destroyers get. And I find that to be totally insane. However, the worst round of them all, APCR premium rounds. When you are fighting another VK90 from the front, and both of you are hull down, it is pretty bad. A lot of heavy tanks, you need to be using the gun depression to pen, and oftentimes it's a lot easier to pen with the AP rounds than it is with the APCR rounds. And you have HE. It's pretty decent. Quick thing, I run double aim. It honestly has very similar stats in terms of the gun handling to another tank I just played. That will be the XM. It has almost the same aim time, almost the same dispersion with my current setup, and that's something very interesting. But you can make the argument for supercharge. I'm personally not a fan of it, and I just take defense system and toolbox. It's always gonna be the standards. It's gonna be recommended every time when I'm on this, except for a few exceptions with the improved modules. Like if you're looking to ram people in an 850M, by all means. I take optics on this tank. I don't think you should take camera head on your heavy tank after all. I take accelerator just to make the top speed a little bit faster, and a delivery system so I get my cooldowns a little more often. Now, with a tank like this, I don't think the stats matter too much, but combat stabs, it'll definitely help. This tank isn't really that fast, so it'll definitely get like an advantage of it. In my opinion, I think putting combat stabs on a tank like the Progetto or the E6 is super overrated because of just how fast the tank is. But when the tank is slow, combat stabs definitely works. The armor is definitely amazing. Like 300 armor on the turret is crazy good. 2,450 hit points is pretty decent, I have to say. 280 view range, pretty good. 10% chance of engine fire is actually very good. Has okay DPM, 460 alpha, and 30 tops, 30 forward, 50 reverse. The 50 reverse is actually pretty decent, but the 30 top speed is very bad. At least you get pretty decent terrain resistances on ground and on the road, but if you're in the water, you're just gonna have a miserable day. But what makes this tank really click for me is actually the 10 degrees of gun depression. You also have 10 degrees of elevation, which isn't good, but over the side, you can use the 10 degrees of gun depression and just get some crazy angles on people, and you'll have an absolutely wonderful time. That is actually the main way how I outplay people in the VK90. I just use the armor and I use the gun depression. Now on the first game I'm going to show you, It is on Middleburg. And with Middleburg, in my opinion, when you're have like slow heavy tanks, I don't really think you should play the town. But when you're slower to the hill and when your team's going town, just have everyone play town. Like there's no point in taking a fight disadvantaged on the hill. You lose every time, especially because this is the worst spawn in Middleburg. This is the bad side. That is because there's a hold down spot on the other side of the map that mediums love to use to farm. Now I'm actually just gonna try and tell my team to try and go into the town. I know that my meds are honestly, I mean they're just dead. Like they're actually just dead. Our heavies have cleared the town, and that means they're all on the hill. And when they're all on the hill, they're just gonna push right through. My E50M is dead. He didn't even bother to pop reactive, so definitely a mistake on his part. And now we lost the serve as well. So yeah, we're definitely off to a bad start. It's really likely that we are going to lose this thing. I'm actually just capping the base, not really in the expectation that I will get the cap. The reason why I am capping the base is because I have nothing better to do as a German heavy tank. I'm gonna side scrape out, and this piece is dead. I'm actually very lucky to not get spotted for that because I was definitely peeking out. Anyways, I'm gonna try and protect the chief, to protect my BZ from the chieftain. I'm gonna side scrape out. Gonna look for a quick little shot in on the lower plate, and I know for a fact that my BZ just got reset. So it is over. I am actually going to push in, get a little tracking shot. The low roll there, in my opinion, definitely cost me this game, which is really unfortunate. But these things happen, and yeah, I'm gonna pick up a quick kill. I used the APCR for that, just because the chieftain's not really like angled armor. It's just got like some nice armor. I get the Maxwell HE here, which is super lucky, and then I pin him against the wall. This Yo has some insane module damage, and I'm gonna try to look to shooting his Cupola. Get the shot off. This Yo got HE for the first shot. I don't really know why, and this Yo's trying to get around me. He's gonna get the side dug. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm gonna try to shoot through his little, I want to say that's his manlet, the turret. Like, I'm just gonna try to shoot that. He's repaired, but I know that with a 2-shot Yo, that thing has no DPM. I am gonna pick up the clear. Now I am in this really difficult 1 versus 3 situation. Grill's alive, Mino's on full HP, and there's a KPZ that's definitely going to cause a lot of problems. APCR into the lower plate. I'm definitely looking to my right now. I know this middle's loading, and oh, that KPZ just tracking me is really unfortunate, and I'm just going to chase down the KPZ. I don't really care if the minnow reloads. I need to pick up a kill fast before the grill definitely comes into play, and APCR kind of trolling me there with the tracks. Actually, no, I don't think that's APCR's fault. I just don't pen them. And I'm hoping for like a max roll here. I shoot the turret, and this minnow's coming in. He's definitely loaded by now. And had the KPZ not ammo me, I would be able to repair my tracks here, but he did, so I'm dead for this. It's a pretty unfortunate game, but what I really want to show you with this game was the amazing armor profile. This tank gets bounces in so many different ways, but fortunately, I had a very unlucky circumstance. I had a very unlucky situation with my team, not really paying attention to what's going on, in a very unlucky situation with the APCR. That's definitely going to be your main weakness with the tank. The fact that it gets some really random bounces, and as a result of that, I really just wasted time that I cannot afford to waste. And on to the next game. This is on New Bay. New Bay is actually one of my favorite maps in the game, especially on this side. When you get this spawn, this south side spawn, just know you are on the good spawn of Middleburg. And that is because you can play both the hill, the bridge and the town. And I'm gonna show you one absolutely amazing spot. If you're in a med, you can use the spot. If you're in a tank destroyer, you can use the spot. If you're in a light tank, you can also use this spot. But if you're in a light tank, I'd probably prefer if you spotted the bridge, spotted some kind of cross. But you definitely can play this spot too. And that is going to be this little pocket in front of me. And this spot here is what makes the New Bay South side really click. You play here, you have shots on the trash can angle, and you have shots on this angle. And I'm going to put a quick shot into the cron. This 57 is coming, and I really like how my team did not follow my advice. No one even bothered to track it. That's super important. That is actually probably why we lost this game. And spoiler alert, we lost this game. That is because no one is tracking the crosses. It's super important. Always make sure to do that in your games. And I'm going to use my cover, my terrain. I'm going to peek out of my side, but they can only see my turret. And I see this 114 SB2. I go for these shots. They're very difficult, but I always take the chances I can get. And this 114 SB2 is crossing, and hopefully someone's going to put a tracking shot in, and of course that someone is me. And you see what I mean? When we track him, the 114 SB2 is bleeding. Even though our 50B did bleed more, that's mainly because he took a bad position. If he took a good position, this definitely would not be happening. Little unfortunate that AMX M4 shot missed, but what can I say? I did snap the shell in, but I was trying to make use of the combat stabs, and I just think that's unfortunate. I'm looking for an HE shell here, but really, I get this cool little shot in to the AMX, and you just know. Like, when you see, like, how this cover works, it's an amazing spot. Unfortunately, though, my team is kind of dying all around me, and it's not good. And I noticed that this Kron is looking to fire 2 into me, and the moment he does that, it is go time. That is because the Kron is an amazing tank in single shot right now, but once you punish out these reloads, you can really go in and just make use of your DPM. But it's a one shot. I want to try and play around this cover. This 183 dying is so huge. The car dying also really helps. And now I just pick up this clear. This grill is looking to rotate definitely onto my far side tanks. And this AMX M4 is now in a world of hurt. The cool thing is that with this tank, it has so much armor, it just scares off this AMX M4 because he knows he probably can't pen me. And now I'm stuck in a 1v2. I have a lot of hit points, and I know I can definitely make this work. I'm gonna look to pick up the AMX M4. I know I give a side turret shot, and now I'm in a 1v1 with this grill. And I try to give like a little angle bait, but I kind of missed the timing of it. But I do have a shot to the side here. I see a little angle, and I kind of messed that one up, to be honest. Yeah, definitely a little unlucky. I do 4,500 in this game. It's a third class, and yeah, this tank just needed a little more DPM. Props to my friend for getting the mastery here. It's very unfortunate. And I just want to say that if you're using like your gun depression and your armor, what it really comes down to is like how your team plays and just being able to get these tracking shots off and just generally having like a sense of awareness as to what is going on around you. The thing about the VK90 is you only, with my current setup, you have 2450 DPM to play with. So you have to be very intelligent, very cognizant about what you're trying to do with each and every shot. And you need to have like some kind of effect with it. You either want to try and like get some modules out, You want to get for tracks, get for kills. Like, you just don't want to be doing just damage. And that's what's super important, and that's going to set you apart from a lot of these average VK90 players. Now, finally, I have a game on Halas. In this game, I'm just comfortable playing the town. Not really much of a need to read the lineup, but they have one med, and hopefully my team can cover it off while I go cover off the town. I'm just going to keep my open mind to this game, and I was thinking about how I wanted to play this. I wanted to play this inside angle and just generally have a lot of aggression. I was willing to push in. Now that I know that I wasn't really getting spotted, if I wasn't going to get spotted, I just keep pushing. And I don't really recommend this in a lot of situations, but for this situation, I just felt it was appropriate. As it turns out, a lot of their tanks, they just want the med sign. Like, I see the chieftains there, I know it's go time, so I'm going to see what I can do. And what I can do is actually try to get cross shots on these heavy tanks, so I'm just going to play into their spawn and have a lot of fun. And I do find a Minotauro, so hopefully looking in for an HE shot. That's where combat stats is really good. You're just super accurate in, like, when you're trying to slow down. I'm going to side scrape, do my best. I'm going to use this cover. I have 10 degrees of gun depression here, and I'm going to put a second shot into the middle. This middle's already bled half of his hit points by the time he's turned around, and he's having a hard time looking for a shell just because of the way how the armor works. When I back up, I'm going to trade 1 for 1, and he's very motivated. So I'm going to try and make myself a difficult target by, I want to say that was a grill. Maybe the Foch puts in an excellent side shot, and I'm just going to HE clear him. This Minotauro is dead, out of the fight, ineffective, gone. Now it is time to rotate back for my spawn. That is where all the damage is out, and that's where all the farm is going to be. Now I have a couple options here. I could push to where the Sturb is, but I want to have a little fun. And one thing that you can have a little fun with is creating these alternative angles for crossfire. I'm looking for shots into the Chieftain, looking for shots into the Leo, but I could see I could duel this VK90 here, and I don't really want to peek out with my lower plate shelling. I'm going to peek out with this side scrape angle. If you side scrape in VK90, this is definitely one of the best tanks to do it. I'm going to relax, see what other angles I can find, and realize I don't really have much to work with. So I'm probably going to look to the VK90 again. See this 4005 here, points an amazing snapshot. Combat stabs is amazing for that. When you're like not that fast, you're super accurate. And I wanted to see if I could pick up the 4005 before he flanks me, but I couldn't. It gives me this side turret shot. That's definitely a weak spot on the VK90. Try to keep your turret basically pointed straight as much as you can. Do little wiggles from time to time if you need to pull out a shot. But yeah, the VK90 turret is definitely an area where a lot of people are going to be looking. And this game is still rough. But I see that this Leo is out of the open. One shot 50B I can pick up. So it's going to be Leo first, and then 50B. Because the problem is, if I leave this 50B alive, and if he clips me in the side, I am going to be so sad. Luckily for me, this 50B is making a huge mistake. Another combat stabs moment right there. Perfect accuracy, and I'm just going to slide the shot in. Now this game, it's still close. My mouse has bled. My grill's kind of healthy, but my VK90 is dead. If I don't take up space right now and just draw pressure, this game is going to be bad. And one thing I will say is I'm very confused about how that VK90 shot bounced. I spent like 30 seconds analyzing that shot, and I still have no idea. And now it's a 3v3. I have shots on the Sturb, shots on the VK90, so whatever makes a mistake, I'm going to do that. And in hindsight, I probably should have shot the Sturb, but just putting in a nice HE shot into the VK90, that's definitely a plus too. And I see that the Sturb is looking to push our grill. I'm going to put a shot into him. That way, the grill stays alive. And now I'm in this 2v2 situation with one VK90 and a Chieftain. And one thing here is I'm going to use the gun depression. I'm going to put another shell in. That's what's my favorite part about this tank. That's what I was saying with these random angles you could play. The VK90 really can't do much. I show my lower plate, and I pull the Chieftain bounce. The Chieftain definitely has a hard time petting super armored VK90s, even when the lower plate is showing, because the shells go right into the tracks, and they just get absorbed. That's going to be 5k damage, That was my mastery in the tank, and I really love playing on Hellas. It's definitely one of my favorite maps right now. Definitely a lot of fun. You can be so creative with it, and we pick up the ace, get the top gun, not the high caliber, which is very surprising for 5k damage, which you kind of expected. But overall, thank you to my teammate, Girl Boss on Me Mommy, who trolled me on the New Bay game, saves me here on the Hellas game. I hope you guys enjoyed my longer review on the VK90. It's definitely one of my favorite tanks to play. Definitely been adjusted slightly with this 10.3. I don't think you need to worry about that. This tank is still fantastic. Enjoy it. You're going to love the tank. And yeah, have a great day. Have a great night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See ya.